What's up, everybody? You know what it is. Married at First Sight after show. So the couple's at the halfway mark. Only they're 4 weeks down, 4 weeks to go. We got Amber, who's got chicken fingers, and Tristan and Mia are picking noses. Let's go. Let's get it.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey. It's just the two of us.
Lemon Shan.
That's right.
Here
Shannon
we go,
Lim.
Here we go. Just the two of us.
Hold it down.
Here we
From
come.
Married
Here
at
we
First
go.
Sight. You know.
Will Smith in the house.
Yeah. You didn't even know the song.
No, I didn't, but now I do. We're flowing. We're going.
Oh my God. What's up, everybody? You know what it is. Married at First Sight after show. No stranger. And you here, right time, right channel. It is what it is. It's your boy Lim here. And next to me, it's just the two of us. Shannon is with me.
Hey,
and we're on that old show.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
How's everyone doing out there?
Yeah.
So glad to be here. What a feel-good episode.
Yeah.
Right?
It was a feel-good episode.
It lifted the spirits, but obviously made us skeptical about a couple people still.
The same skeptical.
Yeah, I know. Which
it's not
will
even
never
a word,
go away.
But, I'm using it because it is.
Yeah, I'll accept it.
Skepticalness. Yeah. No, I will say, I'm going to start off by saying that Danielle and Bobby, drum roll, please. I'm a believer.
Yes,
I'm a believer. I've been kind of hating on them just because I didn't feel like they were always being genuine. I felt like Danielle was holding back, wouldn't talk, answer questions. I felt like they were just very surface level, very teenage, puppy love status, even though they're married and trying to work this out. But today's episode really made me a believer. I thought that they really, it was all about the anniversary, right?
Right.
So everyone was celebrating the 1 month anniversary, 4 weeks down. And so they did different things. And I think overall they all did good jobs celebrating.
Yeah.
But I definitely think what they did for each other, Bobby and Danielle specifically, was really, really thoughtful.
Yeah.
Really, really dope. And I just feel like that and it may have just been a situation where it just took them time to get there. I think that I still think that they're going to we're going to see whether we see it on the show or it happens after the cameras are off. But I definitely think they're going to hit something because it's just been too good.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think?
Well, I loved seeing each couple's style, like what they did for each other. You saw actually their personalities and what they do to express their love. And like you said, Bobby and Danielle, they just put so much thought and effort, and hers was such a DIY project that was so sweet that he didn't even know. And his note that he wrote her, I was tearing up. It's so sweet. I just think it's Danielle's personality just to not show a lot of oh wow, she's just this is cute, thank you. And that's just who she is. Not everyone's like me, oh my gosh, you're the sweetest ever. So, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So I thought it was awesome.
Okay. I definitely think that they won. If we're going to give awards out for anniversary celebrations,
First place.
they definitely won.
Gold star.
Yeah. So, let's just get into them. So we're talking about them.
Yeah.
So they go, is it skeet shooting? Am I saying that right?
So,
With the clay,
skeet. Yeah.
Pigeons? They call it clay pigeons?
Yeah.
So they go shooting, and this is Danielle's first time. Of course, this is Bobby's wheelhouse.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Even though he wasn't doing too good.
He was
doing good at the beginning.
Yeah.
So, but this for her, I think is good, and this is why I really think that because it pushed her. This is something she hadn't done, something she probably would never do unless it was asked from her husband.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But she did it and actually did a good job.
Yeah, and she enjoyed it.
Yeah, and it seemed like she enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and Bobby's just he's that calming factor. I feel like in Mexico, she was scared of the heights.
Yes,
and he also talked her through it, and he was there for her. And that's kind of, this time she wasn't scared or anything, but he still talked her through it, was very patient. It just is very telling of the kind of man he is and the man I think she needs in her life and that she really wanted, and she got it.
And I think that goes to show that especially with them, talking about the experts and putting together, matching up, I think their personalities mesh probably the best out of all the couples.
Yeah.
Like, I think that they're just they're both the same height, and like they both like look
Blue
they look like they could be
just-
brother and I mean, I
Yeah.
hate to say that because they're married,
But a lot of
they
couples, I
look
feel like that happens.
right. They
Yeah.
look so similar.
Yeah.
Just in appearance, but they're obviously also different, you know.
Right.
And I think Bobby's definitely more adventurous than she is. But I think that she is, because he is, like you said, very calm and very assuring. To her, she can feel safe in doing these things and knows that he's got her back.
Right.
And I think that's huge. And I think as they develop, because again, let's keep it in perspective. This is a show, but they've been married only 1 week, one month.
4 weeks, yeah.
1 month,
Yeah.
4 weeks. But to do these things and they're, you know, as a couple, I think all of them are making strides versus someone who was together or in a relationship or dating for this amount of time.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think that's huge. I think that's huge.
And they're doing great. And Danielle is finally opening up. And when they did their little questions in bed,
Yes,
their
yes.
little cuties, she was actually like opening up and like giving an answer and why she likes him, because they still haven't said the big L word.
Right.
But I feel like kind of what you said, that she knows that Bobby has her back. I feel like I don't think he knows for sure that she has his. Like, obviously he does, he loves her, but I don't think she's expressing it well, because he's still like, yeah, she doesn't say much, I don't know where she's at, you know. So I wonder if that's gonna be an issue.
Well, I don't know. I feel like at where they're at now, with Bobby and Danielle, the stuff that they said off camera, the stuff that they said, you know, during their one-on-ones.
Yeah.
I think that, and the stuff that they said to like the other, you know, so like
Couples.
Danielle with the women and Bobby with the men. So I think that once, you know, I think she's not going to say it before Bobby does.
Yeah.
But I think once he comes to the grips that he's in love with her, I think she's going to reciprocate.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
I think they're there. And I think, like I said, because, you know, I think she's just going to wait for him. She's not going to say it before him.
Yeah.
So I think
No,
that's
I
just how it
agree.
is.
Yeah.
I thought the best gift though, she definitely went for the best
Yeah.
gift. That was so like,
so
not to sneeze on
sweet.
his. I mean, the 23 notes, that was very,
And the DNA, the dog DNA test.
the dog DNA, that was
He
cool.
didn't even
She
know. He
loves her
didn't even
dog.
know what that was.
I did
He
not. I didn't know that
I had
existed.
to inform him.
You
'cause
did.
Us dog owners,
Yes.
rescued dog owners, we got to know what
Yeah.
our pups are.
Yeah.
I still don't know. So one day I'll do it.
You do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that existed, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was very thoughtful because he knows her dog is her first love.
Henry. Yeah.
Right, Henry. But he did give her 23 notes. They got married on the 23rd. So that was very, very thoughtful.
Yeah.
However, she definitely one-upped him. It's not a contest. But the whole baseball thing, I mean, even the chart, like,
It was so cute.
it was so, like, I could see Thelma doing something like this. Because,
Yeah.
you know, Thelma was very artistic.
And her jar of hearts.
Exactly. Yeah, so I could see her doing something like this.
Crafty.
But, dude, it was like this board with all of the stadiums.
Yeah.
Because he wants to go to, how many was it?
I don't know.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
20 of them. I think it
Okay.
was 20.
Yeah.
I think it was 20 baseball stadiums. And she said, oh, one is crossed off because... Dun, 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 I got you tickets
I
in
know.
Seattle.
And he had
for
no
Atlantic,
idea.
Texas.
Yeah.
No idea.
So
You could tell
cool.
he was super excited, very floored. I thought that was really, really dope. That was very, very,
Yeah.
very thoughtful. Both of them and what they were doing. They also, I thought on his part, them going to the drive-in and him making the like little bed situation and the pickup.
Gosh,
And they
like a
watched their
dream.
wedding video like on the
Right?
big. That was dope.
I melted. Yeah. Because
That
that's
was really
just
dope.
Sweet.
That was really dope. And it was a surprise for her because she went to get popcorn.
Yeah.
And he like had it all set up, like all good.
He
I'm like,
would. He's
dude.
Bobby's got it. Does she call him Bob ever? Is that ever a thing?
I don't know what's up.
I was thinking about that because I was calling him Bob, or when I was writing,
Really?
I'd call him Bob in my notes, and then I'm like, does she ever call him Bob?
Yeah. I don't.
Maybe that would ruin the cuteness. Maybe it wouldn't be as
that
cute if he's like,
would, yeah.
my Bob instead
Right.
of Bobby.
Right. Yeah. Bob doesn't sound.
okay.
Bob's probably his dad.
Yeah.
You know, or somebody, or has an uncle named Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I definitely think that they had a really good anniversary celebration.
Yeah, totally
I thought
agree.
it was very thoughtful, very genuine, and they both enjoyed one another.
Yeah, they're just romantics.
Very much so.
So romantic.
Like almost like fairy tale ish.
Yeah.
You know. And are they maybe you know, our people in the live chat or people watching after when this goes on YouTube, are they the youngest couple? I feel like they're the youngest couple. I think they're the youngest couple.
Yes, I want to say yes.
Because they're like 26 and 27 or something like that. 27, 28.
20s, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Because I know
Mia
Mia and Tristan are like 29 and 28. Or 30?
I thought someone was 30.
30?
I thought Mia was
Maybe. Okay.
Yeah, we got to check our facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're the
here.
youngest couple.
Yeah.
Only reason why I say that is for them to be the youngest couple, but it seems like they're the most compatible, and they're getting along the best out of all the couples.
Very
and all
mature
of that.
relationship.
Exactly. So you would think that would be the older couple.
Yeah.
Like I was, Dave and Amber, they're the oldest.
Then they had
hold
your
it down,
sweet spot.
there's just some challenges there. So let's move on. But before we do that, and getting into the next couple, you have something to say about AfterBuzz.
I do have something to say. Hey, you AfterBuzzers, our network produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and so much more. There is no network that works harder to serve television fans. But we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made just for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about those pesky notifications, don't be, because they're optional. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel, and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did in the comments, and we will thank you on air. For now, thank you for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk. But we need to give a shout out to Rosa VR, because she subscribed last week.
Yes.
And we forgot to shout you out. So sorry, Rosa.
Yes.
You're watching now. Thank you for subscribing.
Rosa.
Everyone follow her example.
Yes.
Setting the tone.
Do that.
Yes.
Do that.
Love it.
Absolutely. So let's get into Dave and Amber. So
Let's do it.
The oldest couple, most elderly couple, so
Seasoned couple?
Well, not seasoned in time spent together,
Right,
but yeah,
that's true.
So this was actually kind of funny. So for them, they're saying this is kind of a pre-anniversary part,
Right.
Her making dinner, but Amber decides, no, we're not going to go to dinner. I'm going to make dinner.
Hey.
I've never done this before, but I'm going to do it.
And it's sweet.
It was very
go.
sweet. It was very sweet,
Yeah.
but you know that he was looking and he was having a great time. Just like sitting there observing her.
Yeah.
And trying to like watching her, trying to figure out what's going on. I just thought it was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I didn't know why Dave was hovering.
What was he supposed to do?
I don't know. He was just like standing next to her the whole time and sitting over there the whole time and watching her every move. And I was just kind of like, maybe that's making her more nervous. I know I'm not an experienced cook, and so if someone was standing there watching my every move, it would make me nervous too.
Right.
So, but overall, he was very he loved it, and he was very flirty and just letting her do her thing, letting her make the mistakes, even though he obviously wanted to butt in, but he's like, I'm going to let her do it. I'm going to let her do it. And it was, because I'm not a good cook either, so I give her props. And it looked good, too.
I mean, she decided, this was her idea that she was going to do.
Yeah.
She decided that this was, what she wanted to give. She's like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
For my man. And so I thought I definitely, kudos to her for doing it. My favorite thing with the whole thing is Dave is like, yo, she has chicken fingers.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm looking at all the spots, because you can tell he's kind of a neat freak, So he's like, there's chicken fingers everywhere. And I got to look where I got to disinfect after she's done. Because, those of you that do cook, raw chicken is really bad.
Yeah.
So to contaminate, every single piece with the raw chicken, I thought that was hilarious.
That was funny.
He was hilarious. But he wanted to help her, and he was laughing a little bit.
Yeah.
But he was letting her do her thing. I think, I think him being there was like a supportive thing.
Okay.
I don't think he was just trying to hover and be like, well, let me see what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think it was more so because if he would have went in the living room and like watched TV or read a book or something, then it's kind of like he knows that this is like not something she does.
Yeah, that's true. So he's like kind of guiding her.
I think, yeah. And he's like, oh, the stove is going to be hot. He said little things here and there.
But it's like she knows the stove is going to be hot. She knows, like,
I know.
I just feel like it kind of made her question herself more than if he wasn't there, then she would have just like, oh, I guess I'll use this pan. But she was like, is this the right one? Is this
Right.
what I should do?
But you remember though, like she didn't, because remember this is his place, so he knows where everything is. So
It's been 4 weeks.
I know, but there were times like the garlic press. Remember that?
Yeah.
So he was like, "Oh, I have this garlic press. Here you go."
Right.
You know, he's like, "Well, where's the pan? They're right there." So he was kind of helping her along.
Okay, yeah.
It was some support.
Yeah, I'm not saying
just
it was totally negative. I'm just saying it maybe have affected her cooking groove.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure. I think
But-
she definitely felt a little nervous.
Yeah.
Because he was there. But I think he was just really just trying to support her
Right.
and just be there for her.
Yeah.
And make sure, she doesn't contaminate everything. Because that was a place.
And I feel her about the garlic clove thing because I'm not a cook either. And so that, I didn't know. I thought a clove was a whole freaking garlic.
whole garlic?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Oh, gosh.
So I could just see her getting like,
Frazzled about
stuff
that.
about
Yeah.
that. But it was just
just-
knowing. But you're right. But Dave was there to tell
More
her.
you know, he was there.
Dave was there to tell her.
He was there. One of the other things that they did for the actual anniversary, which I thought was dope, he took her to the place they got married.
Yeah.
And so
sweet.
Amber really liked that. They actually went to the exact spot they gave their vows, exact spot where, they stayed in the room that they stayed in the first night. So I thought that was really, it was just been a month, let's keep it real. So it wasn't that long ago.
Right.
But I think because of the nature of them getting married, because it was the first time they met, I think it was definitely significant. And even standing at the spot, where they gave their vows and kind of recreating, that memory, that was dope. What'd you
Right.
think?
Well, and just how they would talk about like you then at that day we got married is different than the you I know now, So it just made me think, I wonder if a lot of these people like want to not do a do-over wedding, but kind of do the ceremony and stuff again because, pictures, everything reflects it differently, even though it's exciting because they experiment and stuff. But I feel like it would mean more if they did it again because now they know each other, you know? So I wonder if they think about that, like if they'd want to.
I don't know.
renew their vows
I
or
think
do
that's
it in that
well.
way.
Did that come? They came up with one of the couples. I think it might not have been them. I think it was maybe Tristan and Mia.
Okay.
About renewing vows.
yeah.
Right, renewing vows.
Right.
But yeah, no, I think that's a good question, and I think that would be a great thing to do because, like I said, again, the nature of how they got married.
Yeah.
And because you think about it. When you're on this show, right, everything has to be done kind of how they want you to do it.
Yeah.
Like the amount of guests that you can invite, where it is, like they choose all of that.
Yeah.
So you really don't have much say. You can pick what color tux you want maybe.
Right.
But I think that's regimented to a degree.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that is something that I'm sure that if maybe couples in the past have done, that might be something to think about.
Yeah.
But that way you do it the way you want to.
Right.
And you do it with someone that you do know now.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
You don't know these people.
Yeah. Well, and even because when Dave and Amber, when they were looking at their pictures and they're like, oh, we look so awkward there. It'd be nice to redo them and have pictures that are like, wow, our love.
Yes.
You can see our love. Because
Yes.
there wasn't love then,
No, there wasn't love.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe just do a photo shoot.
Yeah, something.
Something. A little something.
All right. Tristan and Mia.
Your
Tristan and
fave
Mia.
couple.
My gosh.
favorite.
I think I need to take my glasses off. Maybe my hat. No. So it wasn't as bad as
No,
what
it wasn't.
we've seen in previous, but it still wasn't good. And the biggest thing, and we were talking about this while we were watching this, I'm curious whether it's the experts from this show watching this back, because obviously they don't see everything at the moment, but watching this back, or any expert, relationship experts out there in general, Mia's body language when Tristan is attempting to be affectionate with her, whether he's hugging her or caressing her, she's always like this. And that's got to say something.
Closed off.
And whether it's something that she does subconsciously or it's consciously, but she literally she gives off the vibe of being closed off. And I was asking her, I said, did they ever kiss? And we see them kiss, but it was like that one scene where they were kissing, and she literally was not moving her lips.
No.
Like it was like.
She does have big lips though, so she doesn't have to do much to kiss.
Right, but still.
It was literally like.
No movement.
Yeah.
Like no movement whatsoever. So I'm like, yo, and I wonder.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just, you speculate, right?
Of course.
But is it something that she doesn't really care for him as much?
Yeah.
Or is this kind of how she is? I mean, there's just a plethora of things that it could be. But I will say that it's not. I feel bad for Tristan.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel bad for him. I felt bad for this entire. What's hot in here? I felt bad for him this entire season.
Yeah.
But this right here, where he's attempting to, I feel like he's giving it his all.
Yeah.
He's trying to there's been so many roadblocks, and it's literally been because of her. Let's keep it all the way real. He's tried to, okay, well, let's get past this, or okay, let's be good again. All right, cool. And this, but literally something as easy. And this is the part that gets me. Neither of the couples have said "I love you" up to this point, but they did. And I'm like, how do you say you love somebody and you can't even give them you're like,
yeah, I know.
Shannon.
I know. And you guys were talking about it, in the chat and comments, noticing that. And I didn't notice it that much until you guys were bringing it up. And I noticed a lot about her eye contact. That is because eye contact is a huge thing for me, just in general, talking to people. And she does not look at him in the eye.
That's right.
Even when they were reading their vows and reading that little picture that the experts got for them, she was like saying, "Oh, wow, this is so sweet. Oh, wow, do you remember that day?" Like, barely even glanced at him. And I'm like, what is that about? Because that's how you connect.
Yes.
Is through the eyes. And you see
Yes.
the other couples, they longingly look in each other's eyes.
Yes.
And they don't do that. When they're laying on the couch, "I love you, I love you." He's up here, she's down here, So it's just, they're lacking something. And I feel bad because I feel like I'm watching them in a very pessimistic way, because they had a bad tone. So it's like I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but all these things just keep coming up. So it's hard for me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so many red flags, and again, I feel like it's mainly on her. I'm not saying he's perfect.
Right.
We've discussed, that there's been times that he may have communicated things better in certain situations.
Especially the move to Houston.
Well,
And how he was like, "I'd rather be around my family than yours." I was like, ooh.
Well,
I get why he would say that. But
that.
still, you can't compare families like that because her family is still her family who she loves and cares for. So
but
that's rough for me.
That is. I mean, at its core. And remember, I even said the way it was said.
Yeah.
I didn't see it come out of his mouth, so I'm wondering if how they put it or they placed it. But if you think about it, once that was said, it didn't garner a visceral reaction from her.
Yeah.
And I would think because she is close to her family, if he said it like that and meant it like that, like it was kind of presented, she would have been like, "Well, wait a second, what do you mean by that?"
Yeah.
And I didn't get that from her. So I'm curious if he said it in that way. Right. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. Because when the follow-up was that he did say, I did see come out of his mouth, is he's like, your family is, what did he say? Did he say negative?
Yeah, I think he said negative.
Negative.
Yeah, and his family's more easygoing.
Right.
His family's more chill.
Right.
Or something.
Which is true.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you look, case in point.
Yeah.
The sister's no joke.
Yeah.
I mean, the dad too, but the sister is no joke. And what we saw last episode, when they were at the light lunch. That was said any night time. I just wanted a light lunch. That's all I wanted.
Infamous light lunch.
So, yeah. So I could see how, obviously that's the main reason, but he's thinking like, yo, that's a plus. First of all, business-wise. And, I mean, I think they did something really good, which was, I think it was spawned by the experts wanted them to do this, to make this flow chart.
It was a really great exercise.
Right, it was. And the pros and cons, basically, benefits and challenges is how they said it on the show, about moving to Houston. And they both talked about it, and the score was like 100 to 53.
Yeah.
100, score for moving. So it made more sense to move.
Right.
And so, and the fact that we find out, I mean, not that she hasn't said it before, but in this episode, she's like, well, yeah, I work from home. So I could kind of move anywhere.
Yep.
Really. And that makes all the sense because the major reason for his move is business. He says, I can't keep these businesses in Houston up. That's my biggest operation is in Houston. I really need to be there. So that turns into finances. That turns into livelihood. So if you're trying to have, and that's what he was kind of trying to explain to the family, which it didn't come out that way because there was so much adversity. But I think in bringing it all out, I think for her, for someone who overthinks like she does, who seems to be analytical at times, that was helpful for her. And I think it was great that they did that because she saw black and white.
For sure.
It makes more sense here. Get emotions out the way, get anything else out the way. Black and white, it makes more sense.
Exactly. And I think this was my favorite part of them as a couple was this exercise because you just saw them working together and actually hearing each other. But it freaks me out one of the biggest risks that they said for both of them was resentment. Because that is huge. That's something, it's like almost no turning back. Once you resent someone, it's like, what do? You can't take back time. You can't change what you did. So that makes me scared because I know she's very much against moving to Houston. Now she's coming around to it, and her family is very against it. That resentment factor is
also,
really...
You know what? But the way... Because he was the one... Tristan was the one that said it first.
Yeah.
Because they were talking about cons.
Right.
Or challenges. And he said, I resent you. And she kind of said, well, I can resent you for making me...
Yeah.
And I don't know if she really felt that or if it was just a way to be like, well, I could feel that way too. Like a kind of like, tit for tat exactly.
Thing. Yeah.
So I don't know that she really felt that in her spirit deep down. Just my opinion. Just the way her response was. However, the fact that, and my sister is a prime example. So my sister and her now husband, she was here in California. He was in Atlanta, Georgia. And so they had a long distance relationship going on. And so when it kind of came to figure out, okay, where do we move? And so now this discussed it, but it basically came down to he moved where she was in California because he worked from home.
Gotcha.
And he traveled when he did work outside. He traveled, so he can travel from anywhere.
Yeah.
So it worked for him to move down because her job was not set up that way.
Yeah.
And she's been at her job for over 15 years. So, so it made more sense. And so I think this is another example. If she can work from home, his businesses would flourish if they moved to Houston. Then you go.
Right.
And that's really it. Yeah.
Yeah. When I just feel like a lot of big things are happening to them in this first month of their marriage.
Yes.
And it's not necessarily happening to the two other couples, you know? Like having to move, having to make that decision. Everyone was like, chill, the other two. Right. And the whole getting arrested, all that stuff. So I feel like they are facing a lot for two people that don't know each other very well. So we got to give them some credit, some time to work out the kinks, maybe work out the kinks or maybe not. I don't know. We'll find out what they choose.
You did make a good point because, like you said, none of the other couples are coming against that.
Yeah.
As far as moving to a whole nother city. And from what I understand, it's not close.
Right.
Like in distance from Dallas and Houston.
Yeah.
So I can understand how that could be a big deal, especially, again, she made it seem like she'd been like there visited a couple of times.
Yeah.
So it doesn't sound like she's traveled a whole lot. Well, in Texas, I should say.
Yeah.
So it's really big for her where he's like, hey, let's go. So, but again, the board worked.
Yep.
So it sounds like she's on board. I need to settle this. So the picking of the nose. We were talking about this. So I don't want to get too nasty or graphic with it, but when the term pick nose, like when you say I'm a picky eaters noses, I instantly thought you picking a booger out of their nose. Because if I'm going to pick my nose, it's to get...
You're not messing around.
It's to get a booger out.
You're getting to the brain, yeah.
So I'm just saying, so if I'm picking... First of all, I've never done that.
Okay.
I can't say that I ever would pick someone else's nose. No. But you saying that you feel like it's like, I
think it's like almost like a little tickle, or if there's
a tickle,
or if there's just like a hanging bug and you kind of just grab it.
Oh, that's
okay. But that just shows your comfortable level. I don't know. I've picked my ex's noses before.
Like picked a booger out. Shannon, like a booger. A booger. You picked a booger out of a man's nose.
Yes, I have picked a booger out of a man's nose. And they've done it to me. It's been equal booger picking. And that's And it's not weird, it's not gross. When you love them, it's like, okay, these are just things. This is just reality.
I don't know, man. I just
never picked. So
ever.
Okay, ever in your life. Wow.
Ever.
It's interesting. Maybe when you pick a girl's nose, that's when you know she's the one.
No, she's not going to be the one. Because if I have to pick a booger on her nose, then it's like,
what
it's a wrap.
What if she just reached to pick yours? Like, she didn't even say anything. You were laying there reading a book or something, and she just, like, sneak attacked, booger picked.
I would be like,
what would
I
you
would
do?
feel violated. I'm like, you violated me. You infiltrated my nose space.
But then you might be like, wow, that was actually kind of nice.
I would never do that.
Okay, you guys in the chat, tell us what you think about picking someone else's nose.
Yeah, moving on. I can't believe that. Yeah, I've never experienced that or don't know what that is. But anyway, I could be alone. I don't think so.
Who knows? We'll find out.
But I don't think so. Yes. One of the other things that they did is they went on a gondola ride, which was cute, through the city. I've done that actually. There's a spot in, oh my gosh, here in Southern California, Newport Beach.
Oh, they
Yeah,
did there?
Newport Beach here in California. If you're in Southern California, they have these gondola rides off in Newport Beach, and you literally, it's really cool. You get a gondola ride. They have like the music playing. They have a guy, and he's dressed up in the little outfit.
Oh my
And you
gosh.
go through like, it's like an hour or so, and you go through like these, because Newport Beach is set up.
Yeah.
You go through this area. It's really cool.
That's awesome.
You can like bring, wine or food or whatever. It's really cool.
Have you brought in a date there before?
One time.
Yeah.
I did one time. It was, yeah.
That's awesome.
It was
It was-
dope. I mean,
I feel like in Venice they would have that too, right? Like Venice,
in Venice? Well, that's
how,
where,
like,
that's
the
where, that's the
canals and
capital.
stuff,
Yeah,
know?
that's where all that comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Venice is.
No, Venice, California.
Oh, Venice. I
Yeah.
thought you meant actually in Italy. I was like, yeah, girl.
No,
Get your
you
life.
know, they should do it in Italy. That's where it started.
Like, what?
No, Venice,
In Venice,
California. You know how
California.
there's those like canal things with like the houses?
I don't know. They do it in Vegas, though.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. I don't think they do it in Venice.
I know they should.
I don't know,
But
that
that's
water
cool.
might be kind
That's
of
cool.
crazy.
But again,
yeah.
even on the gondola ride, it was just.
Yeah, it was very static. It was very like, and the thing is, I feel like Tristan tries so hard. Like, I feel like he's giving it everything. He's really trying to be as affectionate as possible. And she's just so like he'll be kissing her and she just gives this little crazy face, like the don't touch me face. She's so closed off. Like, there's times that she's hugging him.
Yeah.
But even with that, it's kind of like, I don't know.
I wonder if he
gotta-
senses it.
He's got to. He's
think?
got to. If you're, I mean, come on, you've been in a relationship.
Yeah,
If someone is not, reciprocating your affection, you know right away.
Yeah.
You know
true.
when it's not being reciprocated. It doesn't matter. Like, and there are people that have different levels. Like some people I've met, they're just not very affectionate people.
Right.
However,
Or just PDA,
or I mean that.
Yeah.
But dude, your relationship on TV. Like, let's get past all that stuff.
Yeah.
If your partner is wanting to be affectionate with you, and they're the ones that said they love each other,
Yeah.
so now you love this person.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I know.
I'm sorry. I just can't. I just can't.
But maybe in the bedroom she does show that affection.
you know,
We don't know.
but it.
I don't know because
When they're nose picking.
That's what gets him. He's like, ooh, she loves me.
Nose picking in the bedroom. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, even the gifts that they gave each other, I feel like that showed something too. Like. And I hate comparing the other couples to them.
But that's what we do.
That's what we do. We're terrible. And that's just, hers was just so goofy. Like, it didn't come from the heart. There was nothing like knowing everything they've been through. She didn't feel like she needed to do something a little more just sentimental.
And
Stay
my
in
thing
that
is like,
head,
I could see, because I mean, Tristan is goofy.
Yeah.
And I could see her trying to play to that, but it just still wasn't. I mean, you could tell that he was like, really?
Yeah.
And even like, oh yeah, it was funny. He did not like
No.
that. He was not like, yeah, it's like a gag gift.
Right.
Like, I could see if she did that, it's like, oh, but your real gift's over here.
Exactly. Yeah. She needed to balance
But
it out.
that was it. And then she even discarded on the floor, like it
Yeah.
wasn't even important.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just whack. It's just going to be interesting, like I said, with them, because I feel like they are they're the most likely to not stay together.
Yeah.
When it comes down to this, I feel like obviously Dave and Amber are going to continue, and we see all the previews. They're going to continue to have issues, but I think that's just normal with them. I mean, Danielle and Bobby, you look at this episode, like be together forever.
Gosh, for real.
So, but yeah, I think Tristan and Mia, it's gonna. I don't know. I think they're just not on the same, wavelength.
I agree.
So,
and I don't see it improving either,
That's
and
the
I
thing.
think that's what's scary about it is, we're like, okay, they got through rough patches, but they're still not to that level to maybe
Right.
say, yes, let's stay married.
and on top of that, now you're talking about a move to Houston.
Yeah.
So, obviously that's, Tristan is going to feel comfortable because his family's there. Of
course.
He's familiar. She's not familiar whatsoever. She said, I've been there like once or twice.
She's going to get back
in
on
her
Tinder.
whole life.
Just kidding. Just kidding. We don't know if you're really on Tinder.
That was good.
No.
That was good. But no, I mean,
Yeah.
I think that she's going to struggle with that because
Right.
she's going to wait for her family, her safety, net, her comfort zone. So I think this is going to add to, what's going on. Even though, again, it makes sense, but, reality.
Once you get there,
it's going to be different.
That's-
So
that's true.
it'll be interesting. Let's get into news and gossip. Let's
Okay,
do
let's
that.
do that.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So, this is sad news. So, Jamie and Doug from season 1, who we all know and love, so they just actually had a miscarriage. She posted a couple days ago on her Instagram. And I want to say a few days before that, she posted a pregnancy test. And she's like, it looked negative, but it also kind of looked like a faded positive sign. And she was like, send positive vibes here, like if I'm supposed to be pregnant. And then her midwife confirmed that it was a chemical pregnancy. And I've actually never heard of a miscarriage called a chemical pregnancy. And that's, I haven't been educated on it, but it actually is before the ultrasound can detect a fetus, not too early for the pregnancy test to detect levels of HCG. And HCG are hormones produced after implantation. So those are a little because I was doing research about it and I didn't really know what it was talking about. So just wanted to inform you guys about too if you didn't know either. But they are still going to try for another babe. So it's exciting, and everybody on Instagram is very supportive, and she expressed that, how everybody, all of her followers, it feels like her family, her sisters and friends, she feels like everybody is just supportive, which is amazing. And it's actually, a lot of women are actually posting their experiences too, ones that have experienced a miscarriage or know somebody who has. So it's just, everyone's just a community, and so it is a tragic thing, but also, good comes out of it, and people can open up about something and relate to each other. So
Word.
yeah, so it's that's the news I have for today.
Word.
So
Well, our thoughts and prayers with her
Yeah,
and her
for sure.
family.
Yeah.
Because, anytime something like that
good
happens,
vibes that they'll get pregnant.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, let's get into predictions. Let's go right to it.
Let's do it. Shoot.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV.
You go first. You go first this time.
Okay. First of all, I think in next episode that Dave is going to disinfect the kitchen. I think it's going to be half the episode is
Bleaching.
going to be him disinfecting the kitchen. No, I think that they're continuing to make strides. I think the biggest thing with Dave and Amber is their age, and I think just being set in their ways. And I think in the previews for next episode, Amber kind of alludes to that. She's just like, I'm kind of used to doing my own thing, and so it's a challenge for her to kind of have to be compromised,
Right.
and to compromise with someone else and do things and keep someone else in mind. So I know for me, I know that would be tough. If I got married at first sight and I'm 4 weeks in, I like my space,
Right.
so I could see it, and I like being come and go as I please.
Yeah.
So
Oh, for
I could
sure.
see how that can be challenging. So I think that's the biggest issue with them.
Okay.
I think Bobby and Danielle are going to continue to make strides. I can't see, like I said, I'm a believer. After this episode, I'm a believer. It took 4 weeks,
Yeah.
but I'm definitely a believer. So, and kind of see where they grow from there. I think the I love yous is coming. I think it's definitely coming. Tristan and Mia, I I don't know. I think I don't know if they're gonna move to Houston in the season.
I don't know either.
I don't. It doesn't allude to that because they kind of. He said, well, until we move, this is set up, and so he kind of, has her space set up in the place. So it doesn't sound like it's like right this second.
Right.
Obviously, I think he did say that they were going on a trip in like a couple of weeks to kind of, check it out.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, I don't think they'd be moving in the season.
Right.
But obviously, they're probably going to film them in Houston and probably get reactions of them being there. So,
yeah,
but I really don't see Mia changing. I really think it's going to be much of the same. And then, to be honest, I don't see why they would stay together because I just don't see it happening.
Right. I feel you on a lot of those predictions. I think you better else. I think Danielle and Bobby. I think Dr. Pepper is going to bring up, because the preview kind of showed, I think she's going to kind of bring up because she's worried that in a relationship that one person is doing more than the other one. And Bobby is clearly doing that in their relationship. So I think that might bring up maybe a debacle or maybe some sort of struggle, the first struggle they face. Every prediction I say they're going to get in a fight this next episode. So I don't think it's going to be a blow-up fight, but I think it's actually going to be something that they disagree on and them working through it, which would be really great to see, because I think they'll be great at communicating that and fixing it. Dave and Amber, I actually think... I think Amber is going to say that independent stuff, but I think they're going to be able to overcome it and talk about it and maybe use the tools that they've learned from the experts and actually grow from it and not get offended. Hopefully. That's what I'm hoping. Mia and Tristan, I don't see it being anything pretty. I see if they go to Houston, I think it'll be some arguments going to happen because she is going to feel uncomfortable or she might even act weird around his family, and it's just going to be stacking up the issues. Unfortunately, I don't see it getting any easier for them. But prove me wrong, me and Tristan, because I'd love to see it work out. I
think just as a whole, you see these couples and you see, especially if they're fighting for each other, they want to be together. You definitely want it to work out.
Yeah, of course.
And it seems like even though Mia says a lot, I think her body language says different things.
Says more.
But she's definitely, we've seen couples in the past that are just like, I'm over it.
Oh, for sure.
I'm just done. I'm ready to call it quits, So, they're not doing that. So, and that's, like I said, especially for Tristan, even though, again, I'm not saying he's perfect at all in the situation, but I feel like he's definitely getting the brunt of it because I feel like Mia just isn't 100% herself, isn't 100% telling the truth, and just her, her actions. Actions speak louder than words. It's an old saying that I think holds true.
Oh, 100%.
And is very much, the case with her.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. We're halfway through.
Yeah, it's a good season. It's been really entertaining, and it's just... We just don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know which way. Except
know.
I feel pretty confident in Bobby and Danielle.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're the ones I'm for sure.
I'm telling you.
Know that they're going to be okay.
They're made for each other.
Right?
I'm telling you. Yeah, they're a factory. The guy and the girl that should be together. That's what I think. Anyway.
Factory made.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's been our show. We want to thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone in the live chat. Sorry we could not get to this particular episode since we were short-staffed,
It happens.
But we appreciate you being there and giving your input. Make sure you comment. When this gets downloaded onto iTunes, make sure you listen. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you the comments on YouTube because we read them and we want to get your opinion on everything. We want to know the whole picking notes thing. I'm really I feel like I'm alone in this. I don't think I am.
You're not
according
alone.
to Danielle.
I'm sure.
According to
Danielle. One and the same. One and the same.
It's the same person.
Yeah.
Sorry,
It's fine. That's okay.
Anyway, let us
On
know.
that note,
Let
we'll
us
see ya.
know. I'm your host, Lim Gonsalves. I'm Lim Gonsalves. And you can find me everywhere at The Poet Saint. That's at The Poet Saint. And check out my website. I can't talk anymore. Website, stayonthemic.com. Shannon O'Connor, where
Not
can
Danielle.
they find you?
Hey everybody, I'm Shannon O'Connor. You can find me on Instagram at Shanakin_Skywalker or on Twitter at ShanOC.
Boom.
Yeah.
Until next week, we will see you. Peace.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.